It's a time for package from China. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in, because we're going to take a close look at the Pandora jungle once again, because there are so many of these freaking Pandora's boxes out there. But this time, we're going to take a close look at the game console. But what does it mean, the game console? I did a couple of videos about what is the way you can play, or how can you play with Pandora's boxes. We're having so many different options, and nowadays just selling like these mainboards like in game console. Actually what it does is just the same mainboard that you can find inside your machine, but these are unlocked or having the option to play with a controller. So in this video I wanted to talk about the 3D Pandora's box Saga AX Wi-Fi edition, and this seems to be the 6800, and yup, you are having different versions of this mainboard. Most of the time you're going to get like a different size of an SD card, or sometimes we're going to get a completely different revision. Okay, this is the controller edition, so we're going to get some controllers. But this is like let's say this is the jungle inside the jungle. We're having so many of these fake horrible PlayStation 2 controllers. I think the ones are not that bad are the Ucom. And not that bad, I mean actually like they are most of the time playable. Because some of these things have a frigging awful chemical smell, and the D-pad itself is freaking awful. I will give you an example what I mean. We're having different options, but when it comes to the horrible versions, this over here, this red boy, this red controller, it comes in different versions, different colors, but in overall this is the worst controller that you can find when it comes to Pandora's boxes. And somehow this bloody thing is compatible with freaking almost every single Pandora's box that has, let's say, controller capabilities. That is the most horrible part. It even has like a pause button that we're going to need for some Pandora's boxes to open up the menu, otherwise you're just having a big problem. And this is like, if you can see this thing combined with a mainboard, avoid it at all costs, but this is not the experience that you want to have when it comes to controllers. But what options do we have? So most of the time we're going to get, let's say, 3 different controllers, or that is like the casual stuff they are going to sell us. The red one, the horrible one, the Ucom controller, and we're having the wireless PlayStation 2 fake version. Basically this is what you're going to get with the Pandora's boxes most of the time. The wireless versions, also here, it does not really have like a certain brand. Most of the time they're like brandless, and when you're going to get one of these, if it smells chemical, most of the time the D-pad's quite horrible. This one is quite okay, but the reason why, because they're giving this with a different Pandora's box. Again, it's a jungle with the controllers. Avoid this one is okay. And when they are not smelling chemical and having these very glossy joysticks, they are just okay to play. But in overall experience, the D-pad and all of these things are freaking awful. So if you're like me, love to play fighting games, it's just a no-go with these controllers. So when we're going to get a console edition, what we're going to get is a power supply. They're going to give us a 12 volt power supply, or these weird lithium 12.6 volt versions, but they are doing just fine compared with a Pandora's box. Of course the box itself, and we're going to get an HDMI cable. Depends, you have a short one, sometimes we're going to get a nice woven one. It depends a little bit where you're going to buy it. But let's take a close look at the Pandora box, because what are we going to get with this freaking thing? This Pandora box in general is not the bad one, but also like not bad, I mean like the performance itself are okay. I can already say it, so a little bit spoiler over here, but the design itself is very unique, and I think this is one of a kind when it comes to the way they assembled this mainboard. So when you're looking at all the connections, there are new connections over here. So to begin with, we're having here the SPIF or the digital out, and there are some connections that we don't have with normal mainboards, especially when it comes to the on and off switch. And the reason why, they slapped a media box inside a Pandora box casing. The downside is that this box is not compatible with every Pandora box casing. Yeah, so that is a big issue. When you're looking at the new Pandora EX2, you can see the way how they cool and used and built this is completely different. So here we're having this big metal plate that will basically use for cooling down the chip inside this box. And another great weird thing is that you can see we're having 2 different boards now. It's more like they just slapped in an old TV box, combined it with a new board, and create a new kind of Pandora's box. Okay guys, so let's do a quick ETA Prime moment and let's take a close look at the specs. So this is basically the Pandora Saga EX2, so it's more very confusing for the people having the box Saga, but this is just the latest edition. It's the 8001, it comes with the AMD Logic S812 family chipset and have a Mali 450 MP8. 1 gig of RAM, and we have in the version the 64 GB edition, but this is done the 128 GB edition. Basically doesn't CF card, but just wanted to point it out for you guys. Okay, so the main problem I'm having, I can't remove the freaking cooling element. Tried it very gently, but I can't. And I just want to force it and break my board. Over here we're going to get the RAM chips. In total we're going to get 2 GB. And here we're having the NAND chip that contains the firmware. And this thing also has Wi-Fi capabilities from Realtek. So an interesting mainboard and a lot of specifications we didn't have with the normal Pandora's boxes. Okay, so let's take a close look at the menu itself and what are we going to get with this model. I can already say, like, spoiler alert again, it's the same like a lot of these Pandora's boxes. Don't expect anything new. But the Pandora's EX2 Saga 3D Wi-Fi, oh man, it's a mouthful. Oh, I'm going to change the aspect ratio of my monitor because people are thinking that we're going to get an aspect ratio options. No, we can't. You can change it out with your television. I still keep pressing the wrong freaking buttons. Yep, let's put it on 6:9. Yeah, I know you hate it, but this is just the original aspect ratio that you're going to get. But okay, let's talk about the menu itself. Over there in the left top corner you can see you're having all, category, recent and search. And basically there's another option that we're going to get with a lot of Pandora's boxes nowadays. It's quite interesting to see, so let's take a close look at that. But let's take a close look at what can we play. So with the all list we're going to get all of the freaking games. I really hate it with the first Pandora box we had it and they keep adding stuff to it. So it's one big gigantic mess. Category, we can choose what kind of category we want to play. Yeah, I don't know why they're still using the Xbox 360 logo, but it needs to be Mega Drive. Some of these systems did actually fix it. PC Engine, Sega Dreamcast, we're having MAME Neo Geo. We're having the option to play PlayStation Portable, PlayStation 1, N64, and 8-bit and 60-bit. But overall, we have a lot of support for different systems, stuff that you didn't see before. And also with this mainboard, we're having the option to save. I don't know what I'm typing over here. I wanted to type Mortal Kombat to show you that it works very well. I'm very pleased that we're finally going to get an option. Oh, and don't get confused. We're going to get sometimes Mortal Kombat games that are actually on a different platform. So you can search for a name, but you can say like, I want only see MAME games or PlayStation 1. So it's still very limited. Alright, so what are we going to get with the settings today? Compared with the Pandora Game 3 that I reviewed a year ago, nothing new. Same stuff, image optimization, language. With image optimization, we're having the HD function and the scan line. I'm going to put it on disabled. We're having enter the game settings. Here we can change out a lot of things like time, game price, stuff if you want to put it in an arcade machine. So there are quite some options over there. But then overall, it's more of the same. Nothing new. Burst settings, Wi-Fi, check for updates, and factory data reset. So overall, nothing special in my opinion. Key settings, you can mess around with your EO tester if you want to put it in an arcade machine. Gamepad settings, stuff like that. Here you can set them up like if you want to say, hey, I want to set this control to play 1, 2, 3 or 4. It's possible to enter it over here. But that's it. So another thing that changed out is that we're going to get no loading screen now. We're just going to get this background every time we're booting up a game. Kinda weird. Oh wait, I can see the load bar. It's very tiny. Scorpion. Okay, so the first game I'm going to try is for MAME is of course Mortal Kombat 1, because in my opinion this is the benchmark. If it runs Mortal Kombat 1, fine. I have no idea what my buttons are. I know that I'm going to get my ass kicked over here. Walk into my fist. Scorpion, win. Omaeka. Round 1. Fight. Oh. Ooh, missed it out. So when it comes to Sega Dreamcast, it's always more like a mixed bag. Some games run just fine, but some will run really choppy. So let's see how this game runs.
Are you ready? Action!
Loading time.
Round one. Fight.
But when it comes to PlayStation 1, these games run just fine. Yeah, just keep reusing the spare, whatever. Okay guys, so this is what you're going to get. A Pandora's box made from a TV box. It's kind of interesting to be honest, and the performance are mediocre. The reason why is very simple. Dreamcast, PlayStation Portable and N64 is just a mixed bag, but all the other stuff will run just fine. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. I want to thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, hit that little bell, become one of the Wicked family, and I will see you in the next video.